In this video, I'll show you how to create a new activity from scratch within Voces. In any Voces title, you can edit or create your own content, and adding a page is very simple to do. In the upper left corner, we'll click on the menu icon. Then we'll choose the unit or chapter, the section, and exactly where we want to add this page. For example, I may click the title Nuestra Historia 1 again, and then choose Unit 6. Maybe I want to add this to my end of unit review and assessment. So then I would just click the button that says Add a New Page here. From here, I'll give that page a name. This is what the students will see. So I might say something like listening, review, or listening activity, just something that the students will be able to read and understand what's on the page. By default, teacher only will be marked so that while you're editing it, students can't see it or open that page. You can, of course, uncheck that if you'd like them to be able to see it right away. Once you're happy there, go ahead and click Create, and that will open up a blank activity creator. From here, you'll be able to choose either a template or a blank page. As of the recording of this video, we just have the work summary page as the template, so that would allow you to create a custom work summary for your students. Next, we'll choose the page type. We have two page types, standard activity and embedded game. Standard activity will include any activities where students are reading or listening to something, so even if they're not answering questions or there's no student input. It would also include recording activities, multiple choice or long answer, any activity where the student is responding and answering questions or answering material on the page. An embedded game would allow you to assign an activity that would be students playing one of the Game Center games. We do have a separate video for how to create those pages. For our purposes in this video, I'll be sticking with standard activity. Next, we can choose from points or rubric grading. Points grading by default will have each activity or each question on the page worth 1 point, although that's something we can change down the line. You'll also be able to choose rubric grading, which would allow you to either import a template of ours, so you can choose a template here, presentational, interpersonal, interpretive, so different options from our content. And once you choose the template, you'll click Apply Template, which will load in and replace that rubric there. Now, the other option is that you can create your own or even edit one of our rubrics. So I'm going to just add the word edit here at the top. And once I've made my changes to that rubric, I can then save it as a custom template. So then in the future, I'm just going to call this edited template. Now, in the future, I'll be able to choose that template from this list and apply it to any new pages I create or edit. I'm going to change this back to points now so that we can see how to change point value later. We have a couple more options for the activity. We can show just one section at a time, which will show just one portion of the page to the students. They will click an arrow to proceed to the next section. We can also shuffle the section order, which will show the students a different order of content each time they load the page. So that's helpful if creating an exam or a test. It can just help kind of mix up the questions for the students. Once we're happy with our settings, we'll go ahead and click Create Page. And that will then allow us to create or copy sections. To copy a section, simply click Copy a Section. Then from this drop-down, we'll choose a unit and a page within that unit. We'll be able to choose any section from the page. This one happens to just have one section, but if I choose a different activity or an article, I'll see that there are several sections to choose from, and they are labeled with what type of section it is. Clicking any of these will show me a preview of that section so I can be sure it's what I'd like to add. And once I'm happy, I'll just click Add Section. I can also create a new section, which will let me create my own content directly within the activity creator. Once I click Create a New Section, I'll first choose the section type. Now, each of these have some different settings. For example, content only would be any content like a story or anything written that the students will just be interacting with. That can also be made teacher only. So if you wanted to add your own teacher notes or hide anything from the students, you can do that with content only. Student recording will be a section where the students are recording their voice or a speaking activity or speaking section. Most of the rest, from full width text entry down to sorting, will be student question sections, and clicking on any of those will give you a preview of what that section type will look like, so you can easily decide if that's the type of question you'd like to add. Then, of course, we can add a vocabulary list or our own can-do statements. If you add a can-do statement section, those will automatically be added to both the can-do pre-assessment and the can-do checklist at the end of the unit or chapter where you're adding the page. And finally, we can also add a slideshow. So if you did have a slideshow ready that you wanted to import or add slides, you can do that with the slideshow section. For now, I'm going to choose multiple choice as the section type, and then I'll move on to naming the section and adding directions. The name of the section won't be visible to students, so you could call this multiple choice or anything else that will help you know what content is included in that particular section. And then we'll add directions to our students. Important to note that we're not adding our actual questions just yet. We're just adding directions for that section. So I might say something like, choose the best answer for each question. In the directions, I can also add audio just by clicking the microphone icon here. That will allow me to either upload or directly record my own audio for the directions. I can also add images, links, do all kinds of formatting with the directions here. So if you wanted to make a list or create any other type of text there, lots of options for changing. We do also have the accents available, so if you're typing in the target language, you'll be able to add those from there. Each section type will have different options here. For multiple choice, we can make the section a survey where students will see a pie graph of their classmates' responses. We can randomize the order of the section, which will put the questions in a different order each time students load the page. And we could set a question limit. These are two more settings that really help with exams and quizzes. For example, if I set the question limit to 2 and I randomize, then students will get 2 questions in different orders each time they load that page. Here's where we can change that point value per question. This will be available on any section that has student recording, and that is a points graded page. So I might change that to 2 points per question, and then the students will get 2 points for each one that they get correct. Once I'm happy there, I'll click Create Section, which will then add that multiple choice section on the left. So this is true of any section type, whether you're adding content or just adding recording questions. You always want to make sure that you add that section, and then you'll see it show up there on the left. Now on the right, we can add content to that section. So here on the right-hand side, we'll find the middle button, which in this case says add or edit questions, but on other section types, it might say add or edit vocab, add or edit content, whatever that type is. Once we click there, we'll be able to, again, create a new question or copy an existing question. Copying a question works just the same way as copying a section from an existing page. So you're just going to choose the unit, the page, and the question that you want to add to this page. If I want to create a new question, I just click Create a New Question. And depending on the section type, we'll have some different things here. But you'll always have where you're typing in the question and then typing either suggested answers or, in this case, giving the correct answer. So I might say, what month is it? And right now it happens to be November. So I'm going to write that as one of the responses. And then I'll choose December as well. Now, if I want to have more than 2 answers, I'll just click this little plus button here. That's going to allow me to add another one. So maybe January. Now with multiple choice, you do want to make sure that on the right-hand side there, you mark one of those as correct with the green check mark. That will allow the system to automatically grade. Now, once again, like we saw with the directions for the section, we can add audio for the question or even for the answers, as well as images and some other text formatting options. Once you're happy with your question, go ahead and click Add Question, and now we'll see it show up on the left-hand side. Once you're happy with the questions within your section, over here on the right, we'll go ahead and click Close, making sure that once we're all done with the page, we click Save Page and then close out of the editor. Now, if you run into any issues or have any questions while you're creating content, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're happy to help, and you can reach us through the orange question mark icon within your account.